It may sound strange to refer to 2021 as the good old days, but just 3 years ago, the cost of living was significantly lower. Noble Gold Investments spoke with Sam Rohrer of Stand in the Gap today about the alarming rise in food prices. One striking example mentioned was the cost of a Big Mac value meal, which can reach up to $18 in some parts of the country. Personally, I wouldn't pay that much for a burger, fries, and a drink at McDonald's, but unfortunately, that's the economic reality we're facing today. Have you noticed your income increasing by over $1,000 a month in the past 3 years? If not, you're falling behind. Hello, I'm Ivory Hecker from Noble Gold News, and according to economist Mark Zandi, the average U.S. household now spends an extra $1,019 a month just to buy the same goods and services they did 3 years ago. That's a significant hit to the wallet. Grocery shopping used to be a pleasant experience, but now it's become quite painful for many people. In a recent article, the Wall Street Journal noted that last time Americans spent such a large portion of their incomes on food was during George H.W. Bush's presidency. In 1991, Americans were spending 11.4% of their disposable income on food, and by 2022, that figure had only slightly decreased to 11.3%. But don't let that slight decrease fool you. Food prices have continued to skyrocket since then. And I wouldn't be surprised if Americans are now spending around 15% of their disposable incomes on food. Some people are already feeling the pinch at the grocery store. One user on an internet forum recently shared that their weekly grocery bill has skyrocketed to $250, even though it used to be much lower. And unfortunately, major companies are warning us that more price hikes are on the horizon. Oreo maker Mondelez, for example, has announced plans to raise prices on some of its products due to soaring cocoa prices. Overall, the outlook on grocery prices is grim, and it's clear that many households will continue to feel the financial strain of these increases. Let's dive into cocoa prices for a moment. There's a real squeeze on global cocoa supplies, and experts are warning that cocoa could skyrocket as much as $10,000 per ton. This shortage from West Africa will soon hit supermarkets worldwide. If you're a chocolate lover, it might be wise to stock up now while prices are still somewhat reasonable. Seriously, chocolate prices are expected to shoot up rapidly from here on out. Unfortunately, car insurance rates are climbing even faster than food prices. In fact, full coverage car insurance costs soared by 26% to an average of $2,543 in 2024, jumping $529 from the previous year. That's 6 times faster than overall inflation and more than any grocery item, including eggs, over the past 3 years. It's baffling how most people can manage to afford such steep rates. For many Americans, just getting by from month to month has become a monumental challenge, and it's especially tough for young folks starting out. A viral TikTok video featured a young woman expressing frustration about the crushing cost of living has struck a chord, garnering over 18 million views. In the video, she laments having to work 40 hours a week just to afford a 2-bedroom apartment with barely enough left over for essentials like phone, internet, and food. She feels trapped, and it's understandable. But what she may not realize is that her struggle is the result of decades of poor decisions on a larger scale. Many politicians are pushing for drastic measures that could further strain our economy. Take Barbara Lee, for instance. She's actually proposing to raise the minimum wage to $50 an hour. Despite upbeat messages from the media and assurances from Biden about a strong economy, many Americans feel differently. Congresswoman Barbara Lee from California, who's also running for the U.S. Senate, recently voiced concerns about the affordability crisis in her state. She cited a survey indicating that a family of 4 needs at least $127,000 just to scrape by. Well, she's right about the affordability crisis. Her solution is extreme. Lee suggests a minimum wage of $50 per hour. But such a high minimum wage could backfire, leading to widespread unemployment as companies lay off workers they can't afford to keep. It could also drive up prices for consumers and worsen inflation, a persistent issue during the Biden administration. Some might suggest raising it even higher, say to $100 an hour, but that's not how the real world works. Simply throwing more money into the system won't resolve our problems, especially if it comes with more debt. What we truly need is a productive economy that creates valuable goods and services. Encouraging excessive consumption won't lead us anywhere positive. Instead, we could focus on fostering high levels of production, which leads to lasting wealth. The debt bubble we've been riding has given a temporary illusion of prosperity, but it's nearing its end. Many anticipate an impending crash, which will bring significant chaos to our society. Jeff Bezos seems to sense the changing tide as he's been selling off millions of Amazon shares. If he believed in a rosy future for the US economy, why would he do that? The truth is, tough economic times lie ahead. While things might not be great for many of us now, they're likely to get even tougher in the near future.